A suspect in Saturday's triple homicide. Authorities are looking for 52-year-old Gerard Watson. Police say he's the ex-boyfriend of two of the victims' mother. Now, he's considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. He could be driving a 2010 Mitsubishi Outlander. It's white in color. The vehicle has a California license plate on your screen, 7CYL933. A felony warrant for homicide has been issued for his arrest, but investigators say he may have left the state to avoid being captured. Autopsies on the three victims are scheduled for today. The bodies of 68-year-old Christine Lucas and her grandsons, 23-year-old Marquise Brown and 20-year-old James Farrell, were found in an apartment on Broadway Saturday night. Lucas was a pastor who worked as an advocate for women and their families. We'll stay on top of this developing story and bring you more information as soon as we get it.
What's going on, everybody? Sacramento Gang Archives here, and today we are here to talk about the very sad and gruesome, tragic, disgusting, crazy story of an insane motherfucker by the name of Jared Michael Watson. He had murdered his girlfriend's mom and his girlfriend's two sons, allegedly after a fight and a series of events that had happened. Now, tune into this story because this is very sad and it's deeper than what you all may think. Guys, I have been SGA for a while now. Since about 2021, April exactly, when I started my first channel. And how many times have I covered Seavey Circle? How many times have I mentioned how much bullshit and coonery, death and destruction goes on in this goddamn little ass fucking bullshit housing projects? I mentioned that all the coons are fucking born, or should I say hatched, in Seavey Circle, and they venture off into all the different fucking hoods in Sacramento to fuck the city up. Fuck. Now, this is another case of a situation that happened, and this is probably one of the craziest ones that I've ever talked about. There is a man by the name of Jared Watson. Now, I am pretty sure, is from down south somewhere, Mississippi, Tennessee, or some shit like that. How he ended up in Sacramento, I have no fucking idea. But I want to add and mention that he definitely was a ladies' man, a fucking crazy one, but he had a lot of women that he dealt with, throughout his years. And he came to Sacramento and met a woman. Now, this woman went by the name, or goes by the name of Tawana Lucas. And I have no idea what kind of woman she is, what her beliefs is, her morals, her background, or what. But none of that shit matters. It seems as if she was taking this Jared Watson motherfucker serious as fuck, in terms of the relationship status and, trying to get married and, live a normal life. Mind you, Seavey Circle is this is a fucking housing project, guys. So everyone who lives here pretty much doesn't have much. So I'm guessing that he and her family is all she fucking had. Now, this story took a fucking turn, because fuck. Now, they were all shacked up in a upstairs, downstairs apartment building in this housing projects. And it was Jared Watson, Tawana Lucas, James Farrell, and Marquise Brown. And if I'm not mistaken, the grandmother also lived there. I don't know if it was temporarily or if it was permanently, but they were all shacked up in that one apartment, upstairs and downstairs. Now, their toxic relationship began just like any other relationship. Fucking sweet, golden. And just like every toxic relationship that starts off sweet and golden, the shit just goes downhill. And Jared Watson began to get a little bit possessive, controlling, and fucking crazy. And he would talk to the mother, his girlfriend, Tawana Lucas. Crazy, And if I'm not mistaken, he would put his hands on her here and there. I wouldn't say that he was beating the fuck out of her, but he would do his little small shit here and there, I don't know if push her or choke her, but, he wasn't necessarily giving her black eyes and small shit, He was just doing a little bit too much, but he was definitely talking to her fucking crazy, all in front of her sons and some more shit, Now, I don't know if he knew or gave a fuck, but Tawana Lucas, her sons, were somewhat of coons. Marquise Brown, he was a family man, and he was from Valley High, Piru. But he wasn't necessarily a coon, He just was affiliated and, connected a little bit. But the other son, James, he went by the name of James 30K. He was from Fab, and he was stars the fuck down.
Shit, that's what I'm finna do. Oh, I can't even do it. Oh.
Baking soda. I got baking soda.
Yes.
No. And my blood, my own.
Nigga.
So, basically my point is, they weren't having none of that shit that he was pulling with their mom. It was not to be lasted very long before they did something about that shit. Now, according to my trusted court documents, fuck, Jared Watson and Tawana Lucas, they had been dating for 6 years. And a little bit before the murders took place, Tawana was trying to get Jared the fuck out of there. She was trying to break up with his weird ass. Because of the stuff I mentioned earlier, you know, his mouth and also his goddamn hands. And the grandmother, she was living up the street with her husband, but she was staying temporarily with all three of them, as in Marquise, James, and Tawana. Now, Tawana Lucas mentioned to the police, after all this shit happened, that he had been abusive to her, but she failed to report the situations where he beat the fuck out of her. And also, Jared Watson blamed the mom, the grandmother, I should say, for their relationship's problems, saying that she was too nosy and that she's going to make someone kill her. Also, Jared Watson has a documented phone call to his blood brother stating that he was thinking about hurting the whole entire family. And another thing is the day prior to the murders, a lady by the name of Cheryl Broomfield, who knew the grandmother, she had mentioned how they asked her to go over there as a witness because Jared was acting up that day. And that is the day prior to the stabbings. So basically, this lady was looking for love and came across this motherfucker. And he started to put his hands on her and talk to her crazy and also talk to the whole entire fucking family crazy. Her sons did what any other sons would do, and that's have their mom's back, and also the grandma. Now, it became some beef between the sons and Jared because they were defending him and his ass was still in love and crazy and possessive, you know? Fuck. Now, I guess eventually the sons had enough of his bullshit. And I guess it was a situation to where it was an altercation between Jared and Tawana, and the sons beat the fuck out of Jared. Now, Jared disappeared for some time, and he came back in the middle of the night, and I don't know if he broke in or if he had a key, but he came in the back door, snuck in, and stabbed the fuck out of the both of the sons and the grandma while they were asleep. Fuck. Now, Jared Watson got the fuck out of there, and he went to Reno for a short period of time. But the mother, Tawana Lucas, she came home after a day out with her co-workers to find her mom and her two sons stabbed to death. Fuck. Now, Christine Lucas, the grandma, she was stabbed approximately 13 times to her head, neck, and her back. Marquise Brown was stabbed 17 times, including to his head, neck, and back. Now, James Farrell, the younger son, he was stabbed 25 fucking times to his head, neck, and his damn back. Fuck. Now, as I mentioned, after the stabbings, he did what any idiot who would do some stupid-ass, crazy-ass shit like this would do. And he got the fuck out of there. And at first, he fled to Reno. And my guess is he were to dump the car out there, and he probably either caught the Greyhound or the Amtrak all the way to Mississippi. And that is where his stomping grounds are at. I want to say, Jared Watson's black, stupid, crazy old ass is from New Orleans. And I will explain that later on in the video.
Police arrested a man wanted in connection with the death of a Sacramento woman and her 2 grandchildren. And tonight, we are hearing from the victim's family.
Why would he hurt 3 people that hadn't done anything? Our family welcomed him.
Police in Biloxi, Mississippi arrested Gerard Michael Watson this afternoon. He's been on the run since October. Good evening, I'm Sam Shane.
And I'm Christina Janes. CBS 13's Macy Jenkins is live in Sacramento with these breaking details for us. Macy?
Christina and Sam, the last 4 months have not been easy for this family, especially after losing 3 of their loved ones. But tonight, they say they finally feel like justice will be served.
And I just hope every night he closes his eyes, he sees the 3 of them and what he done.
Vivian Burke says her heart is breaking all over again 4 months after her sister Christine Lucas was murdered.
My best friend. When I heard the news, it was like my heart just stopped beating.
Just hours earlier, Burke found out that 52-year-old Gerard Watson was behind bars, accused of killing Lucas back in October.
He was doing some strange things, and I saw then that
he wasn't the person that we thought he was.
Investigators with Sacramento Police Department believe Watson also killed Lucas's two grandsons, 23-year-old Marquise Brown and 20-year-old James Farrell. The three victims were found dead inside of a Sacramento home on Broadway. Watson was spotted Friday near a post office in Biloxi, Mississippi, where local police took him into custody.
They done caught him. I screamed. I praised God so loud.
According to the Sacramento DA's office, Watson was in a relationship with Lucas.
He shouldn't walk on the outside of a jail anymore.
Now, the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office issued a warrant for Watson's arrest back in October. The family tonight says they wish that he is punished to the full extent of the law.
All right, Macy, thank you so much. Live for us tonight.
Now, it was a huge manhunt for some months for this fucking weirdo. And he was with some bums in Biloxi, Mississippi. And he was panhandling with the bums. And the police came to do a welfare check on the bums to tell them that they cannot be there. And they noticed him trying to step away and slip away from the crowd. And that rose suspicion. And they ran his name and figured out that he was the fucking suspect in this gruesome-ass triple stabbing. Now, he was cooperative until he found out that the detectives were from California, and that's when he began to shut the fuck up. Now, Jared Watson wasn't your average weirdo. This motherfucker had some real skeletons in his closet. He previously, in 2001, got released for murder, for killing his ex-girlfriend's little brother, and also shooting the dad a whole fucking bunch of times, but the dad survived. Now, I have no idea if the girlfriend of the murdered sons, I have no idea if he told her about that shit. But he also had another situation to where before he had met her, in the early 2000s, he had stabbed another lady and got away with that shit. What the fuck? Now, in a nutshell, Jared Watson was dating a young lady back in the 80s. And the same kind of fucking shit was going on, except he was not getting along with the father. And every time they argued, he would threaten to kill the dad. And one particular day, Jared wanted a ride home. And the girlfriend took Jared for a ride, to take him home. But the brother had came along, and an argument ensued in the car, and he shot the fuck out of the brother in the back of the head in the car and yelled, "Do you see what you made me do?" He then drove back to the girlfriend's house with a gun to her head to finish off the dad. And now he shot the dad. He fired 6 times and hit the dad almost every single time, but somehow, someway, the dad survived. Now, this crazy motherfucker beat the shit out of that case because he pled insanity. And he got out in 2001. And right after that, he began dating some lady, and he stabbed her numerous times in the head also, but she survived. Fast forward, that's when he met Tywanna Lucas. And that's when this whole situation happened, guys. This motherfucker is a family killer. Fuck.
He was doing some strange things, and I saw then that
he wasn't the person that we thought he was.
This family welcomed this man in their home. And obviously, he didn't have shit to offer Mrs. Tywanna Lucas, because they were still in that goddamn project housing. It wasn't like he could get her and the family out of the hood. That shit was just some ghetto love story that was supposed to go right, but it went wrong because he was a fucking weirdo. Now, if they knew how much of a fucking weirdo his ass was, they would not have welcomed him in the house. Look how tight-knit this family is, guys. What the shit? Now, if they would have known that this motherfucker killed his ex-girlfriend's little brother and then tried to kill the dad, basically in the same fashion that they died in, they would not have let that motherfucker nowhere near them. Fuck. Now, this situation may be top 10 saddest ever, because this was not from any coonery or gangbanging bullshit. Karma is up to God. That shit is not up to anyone else. So as far as I know, all 3 of them were innocent. Fuck. And it doesn't help to do background checks on who you meet and who you're dating. And from my experience, when you meet someone that is from down yonder, fucking Mississippi or Louisiana, whatever the fuck, and they found their way to stupid-ass Sacramento, who in the fuck wants to move to Sacramento? More than likely, people end up there, So it doesn't hurt to do a background check and figure out why they're there, And if someone gets all kind of defensive over them trying to do a background check, then that means they have something to hide. If you have nothing to hide, have at it, I will help you do a background check on me. I have nothing to fucking hide. I'm a normal civilian. Fuck. Now, I pray for that lady's sanity. Remember, guys, she is still alive and well, kicking and healthy right now. Her mother and her sons are the one who passed away. Now, imagine the guilt that she has knowing that the person that she introduced her family to ended up killing them, and she's just still alive. I know for a fact she may have survivor's remorse or guilt, whatever the fuck you call that shit. Sacramento Gang Archives, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It would have been up yesterday, but I've had a fucked up case of food poisoning. But I still feel fucked up, but I pushed through and made this video for you guys.